Hey guys, welcome to this episode of The Cinnamon Effect. Today, I have Holly Meyer Lucas on the mic. You're going to love her story. She's a mom of four. She started a real estate business, a powerhouse real estate business. She now is the owner of Hype Boss, which is a marketing agency. She has a podcasting studio, Pod Plus Studios, which we are sitting in today. She's created an amazing space for creators and creatives all around. And I think you're going to love her story. And guess what? She doesn't have mom guilt. Hey there, and welcome to the Cinnamon Effect podcast. I'm your host, Kimberly, and I'm thrilled to have you with me on this vibrant journey of discovery and growth. This podcast is your go-to space for embracing intention, where you'll find clarity on your unique path, deepen those meaningful connections, and unleash your creativity like never before. We'll explore how to build unshakable confidence and celebrate the beauty of gratitude, all while savoring the calm that consistency brings to our lives. Thank you for being with me. Let's sprinkle a little cinnamon into your day and make life sweeter, healthier, and more fulfilling. Hi, Holly Meyer Lucas.
Hello. Hello.
We're in your studio.
I'm in your studio. This is like the Kim domain. I feel like literally Pod Plus Studios is like basically just the Cinnamon Effect studio.
I mean, I love that, but no, it's not. There's so much to talk about, and I feel like I know you, and every time we connect, we have great conversations. One thing, you are not boring. You're exciting. You're always like doing so much. So I love that about you, and one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you today is because of all that. And you're truly, and I think I've told you this before, I feel like you're truly a cheerleader for people, and you really want people to do well. And I've felt that from you since, the moment I started podcasting here. So,
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so, what a nice thing to say about me.
You know, start out with a compliment.
I don't think I've ever been accused of being boring. That's for sure. I'm a lot of things.
You're a lot of things. You're a lot of things. So I want to talk about this because you have built a real estate empire. You are a mother of four. You're a wife to someone in the baseball industry who is gone a lot. I mean, there's like a lot of moving parts to your life, but then yet you continue to build and I wanted to say pivot, but I don't know that you're really pivoting. You're kind of just like adding more.
It's honestly, that's such a good way of putting it. I just have absolutely no chill. Yeah. Like I have no chill. And to be fair, I never have. Like people ask me all the time, like, well, what does your husband think of like this thing and that thing? And it's like, that's what he signed up for. Like, this is who I have always been. I mean, even going back to when I was like in kindergarten, like I was always like literally I have no chill. I'm always just creating. That's really ultimately what it boils down to. I didn't fully realize how much of a creator I was until I say this a lot, until I started my real estate company. And selling real estate and marketing homes and marketing my team and my business and building that first Meyer Lucas brand with our lemon logo really amplified for me that I'm a creator, which happened, at the age of 30.
Wow. And you're not that old. We'll just say that too.
Listen, I'm going to be 40 this year.
This is the year.
Devastating. Yeah. You know that trend that's happening right now where everyone's showing their 2016?
Yes.
Okay, so I was born in 1986, and I I feel like that trend specifically is showing like the 10-year decade, like with the 16.
Yes.
Oh my God, it's like, all right, this is the year. My birthday's in December though, so I have a minute.
You have a full. Yeah, you have like the full year. But the 40s, I think I'm 45, so I'm halfway through. I'm getting closer to 50, which like feels like crazy.
So crazy.
But I feel like the 40s are really when I started to create. And so you think like 30, is older, but at 41, I was like, oh, like what else is there to life? There must be more. And I think I've always been creative too, but I did really feel this influx of like creativity and wanting to build things and do things, different things,
Yeah, you're a lot of things too. Like you do it all too. I feel like anything that interests you,
not to your full scale.
I am a lot. I just have no chill. And my mantra with this has always been, why not? Like just screw it, let's do it. That's just kind of how I've always been. I think also one of my qualities is that I'm extraordinarily delusional about my own capabilities. So me buying a building and turning it into this, like, can we open a podcast studio? Sure. Like very, very Delululemon. Like that is probably a pillar of my life, is just being delusional.
Do you think that comes from not wanting to regret not doing something?
No.
Okay.
So I don't, it's funny you asked that. So I don't have like FOMO or anything. Like I don't feel pressure to, like a lot of the people that we work with at High Boss have this like this pressure cooker feeling of, it's like a combination of FOMO and also just wanting so desperately to be successful and to, it's not that for me. For me, it literally is just creating. Like I just enjoy creating things, whether it be companies or brands. Or only recently, I will say, like in the last 10 years, have I really appreciated my neurodivergence. I'm dyslexic, I have ADHD. Like I always got straight A's, but I was the kid in class that was always such a problem. Like that's one of the worst things to be, is a student that gets straight A's and does all the right things, but then is also the distraction station for the teacher.
Yes, that was you, huh?
Yeah, and it's growing up, it was always kind of a point of shame almost, like that why can't you be more like your sisters, like that type of thing. And when I started my real estate business and fully learned about my own neurodivergence and like about how that actually is such a superpower, that's when things really, really came together for me in terms of like just leaning into, if I have an idea, like run at it. Why not? Life is short. Life is short. If you're not running 1,000,000 miles an hour at your life, what are you doing? That's kind of just like been in my soul forever. And I feel like in the last 10 years, I've really like just unlocked that.
Yeah. So you started in real estate. Did you feel like, oh my gosh, this is it? Like real estate is my thing. Like this is what I'm meant to be doing. Oh, really?
No.
Interesting.
So I had a corporate career. I sold a big hospital software, and I got pregnant with my first son. My husband was playing baseball. He played for 14 years, and I got pregnant with my first son, and he travels for work. So even when he retired from baseball, as you mentioned, he works in baseball still. It's like his specialty niche, if you will, is kind of not flexible. Like it is baseball. He could do something else, but we kind of evaluated what our life would look like. And his industry being in sports made mine the one to have to take a knee. I don't regret it for a second. I was climbing the corporate ladder and recognized that real estate was just kind of one of the easiest ways to get out of the corporate world and really like, do something that I would have the ability to care for our son. And again, like I have absolutely no chill. So I basically started my team accidentally from day one, and it just took off from there.
I remember seeing the lemons actually around town and being like, who's this woman,
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah.
Because the branding is so genius. Like obviously the Meyer and the Meyer lemon, but it's so bright and colorful and cheery. Like, did that take a long time to come up with, or was that something that you were like, oh, like has the Meyer lemon always kind of been your symbol?
This is such a fun story. So I grew up in Germany, and I thought my brand was going to be, or my specialty was going to be working with Europeans and being able to speak German, and having grown up in Europe, like there's this like niche that I had. So I thought. And so I built my first business cards. My first website was all around this like very stuffy, professional looking real estate brand. And for the first couple weeks that I, was hitting the ground running, I was hosting open houses, and I couldn't buy a client. Like I couldn't get anyone to work with me, primarily looking back because there was just such a misalignment between what I was putting out there marketing wise and who I actually am. I didn't know who I was professionally. And so I was hosting an open house, and I was damn near ready to quit this whole real estate thing. And in walked Jenny Griever and Mark Griever, and they were looking to buy a house. And I said, my name is Holly Meyer Lucas. And I was going to go into the spiel about the house and like the boring professional thing that I thought I needed to be. Because in our area, you see guys like Mark Ebel and Rob Thompson and like all the like dudes, and that's what they put out, like very professional. So that's just what I was mimicking. And she immediately kind of cut me off, and she was like, oh, Holly Meyer Lemon. And it was like the most defining moment maybe of my entire career, where I just went, oh my God, that's my logo. That's my brand. That's who I need to be. And she has, if you know her, she has this like just sunny disposition. And so I basically built my entire brand around using her as the avatar. So she had been through a divorce. She and her husband were buying, a home. She's a mom. She's smart. She basically worked with me because after she said that, I like dropped my professional act, and she worked with me because she felt safe to be vulnerable. She, was looking for a home that was elevated, but she's fun and I'm fun. So basically like my entire brand just became where we intentionally, and now it's more methodical. Like over the last 10 years, it's become pretty methodical. But from jump, I would share on social media intentionally trying to make women like Jenny want to work with us. So storytelling around the team. We did so much on social media back then around storytelling, like all the fun and quirky things that my team was doing. I had almost 10 agents like in the first year that I had my team, and everything was intentional to target the female, while everyone else was basically like focused on the finance bros that were relocating here. I was focused on their wives.
I love that. I love that. And I think that's such an important note of sometimes you think you have to be a certain way to fit in with anything, with any industry or crowd or group of people socially or whatever. But sometimes it's the opposite of that is what you really need to do, or let your true personality shine through.
I always say this with our high boss clients, you want to intentionally alienate a group of people. Like that's the way to build a brand, especially a brand like real estate where people are hiring you. It's, if you're building Coca-Cola, maybe a little bit different, but when you're a person-based business, designers, insurance people, you almost want to intentionally alienate a group of people. And I hate to say this, it's kind of a hot take, but I think talking about religion and politics actually has a place in those types of businesses. I, am not particularly political myself, but there are a lot of real estate agents in our market in particular who leaned fully into the MAGA stuff and rushed business because people were moving here for that reason. On the flip side of that, there's a lot of left-leaning agents who did the same. And so anyway, I think alienating an audience, as long as you're not, anti-Semitic or being an idiot about it, I think is actually a good thing. I mean, it quite literally made me a millionaire, intentionally alienating the finance bros. And what's so funny is that the finance bros, we ended up working with them in droves because my team, the brand that we put out was intentionally also smart. So the finance bros would see our stuff, in our ads, like the neon, like our brand is like
the neon sign with the lemon, like it's so genius.
It's so intentional and it's consistent. And so the finance bros would see our marketing and see our branding, and their takeaway would be, it would get their attention. But then also they would see consistency and the professionalism in the consistency of it. It's so funny. Like I've unpacked this so many times and have asked for feedback over the years because I say this all the time. I don't think I could recreate it if I tried for myself because now I'm too close to I can build any brand for anyone at any time, but I think for myself and my own real estate business, I don't know that I could recreate it if I tried.
Yeah, but it was kind of like a light bulb, like universal, like God moment, if you believe in God, of like, this is what you need to do.
Yeah, so, 100%.
And you took it and ran with it.
Yeah. And Jenny, it's funny, like Jenny Groover is she was put into that open, like the universe, God, whatever you want to label that. She was put into that world or into my world for like, it changed my entire life.
Wow.
Like building the Meyer Lucas brand off of just how she literally interrupted me.
Yeah. Well, and so you said she's an agent with you now.
Yeah.
So I feel like this has maybe been a trend for you as well, where you're friends with somebody or you are colleagues with somebody and then they come to work for you.
Yeah.
Is that true or no?
Yeah. Okay. So going back a few years, now I'm very outspoken about how I don't actually like working with friends. Our team is the Meyer Lucas team is very good. Like they're committed, they're dedicated, they're the most elite agents in my opinion in the country. And it's hard to become an agent on the team. And the reason I'm saying that is because friends who get their real estate license, if they want to work for me, first of all, I don't interview anyone anymore and I don't do any of our onboarding. I intentionally put my chief of staff in between and they have to get through Holly and she's tough. Like it takes
she's
a
tough,
lot. It's funny, in the brokerage space, there's such a thing about recruiting. And I've never recruited an agent in my life, but we turn away a lot of people.
Wow. So being such a powerhouse in real estate, what was the pivot or kind of turning things into Hype Boss and having a big space here and then now a podcasting studio? Like talk about that evolution of how that came about.
So in 2022, when the market kind of shifted, so the pandemic happened, the mass migration to our area really started in 2018, 2019, 2020. If you're a real estate agent during that time, or if you're in South Florida, that time was, if you were selling real estate, you were sprinting. The amount of people that relocated here, we were all up to our eyeballs. It was amazing because all of us, made a ton of money and we were really helping people. But it was, I don't remember a lot of my personal life during that period of time. And that's something that has been really tough for me to come to grips with. My third son was born right in the middle of the pandemic in 2020. And, of course I remember it, but my work was my focus because I also love helping people, right? And during that time, it was like people were relocating here and they needed help. It's so hard to explain unless you worked in South Florida in one of those types of businesses, just how hard it was. You had Krista on your podcast, right? Krista Alterman. She and I were just talking about this, how during that time, it was like the amount of jobs that were coming in was just, you just can't have a 10% increase in population and not be absolutely harebrained. So 2022 comes and, interest rates go up, the market slumps a little bit. And so I just had some time to think. And I caught myself, I was having a conversation with Holly, my chief of staff, and I caught myself saying, well, when I have to show buyers homes or when I have to show our listings, instead of it for me, showing homes to buyers was a chore. And I hated that, deeply. I resented it about myself because here are these people, my business was thriving and here are these people giving us as a business the opportunity to work with them. It's the biggest purchase of their life. And I did it so begrudgingly. And the biggest reason why is because I enjoy leading, I enjoy marketing, I enjoy creating. I don't particularly enjoy going out and showing homes. And I say that with all due respect to real estate agents, especially my own team. I loved it when I was building at first. But I just had this come to Jesus moment where it was like, I want more out of my own life. And it's not more as in being a real estate agent was less. And I'm really kind of belaboring that because it's really, really important for me that the real estate community doesn't hear me say that and think that I'm now above it. I sat down with a pen and paper and plotted out what I wanted to do. What do I genuinely enjoy doing? And I had all these business ideas on this piece of paper. I think my dyslexia and ADHD causes me to have elite pattern recognition. And what was happening was storytelling on social media, storytelling in your marketing mix. As a business, the best brands were storytelling in a way that was compelling and interesting and creative. And I constantly, anytime a friend would start a business or as part of the real estate deal, we would get talking about their business. These are Fortune 500 CEOs. I would offer them advice that they would, weeks later be like, oh my God, that idea that you had ended up being like a major campaign or, whatever. And so just taking that validation and just really just reinventing what I wanted to do and then actually doing it. That's the part that is so important in my story. And the takeaway that if, anyone listening to this is feeling like their cage door is locked, it's not. It's not. I got that from a friend. She says that a lot. The cage door isn't locked. And it's so true. If you're in one area of your life and, you're in the corporate world or you're a nurse or you're a teacher, you can change that. But you have to actually change it. So I doubled down on content creation and the desire to create and bought the building. There's a whole story there. I'll spare you the details.
Because the building is it's a big space. How many square feet is this?
It's 5,500 square feet.
Okay, yeah. So it's big and it was, because I was following you at that time where it was blank. It was warehouse, concrete, and now it's beautiful. And the people that come in are like, oh my God, this is amazing. They just don't even expect it here. So you really had such a vision to bring it to life.
One of my biggest things was making sure that I created a space that was safe. So we had some issues with the stalkers and, being a real estate agent, your pictures everywhere, your numbers everywhere. And so if I was going to move my real estate office and my girls, my agents are primarily women. It was so important to me that it was in an area that is safe, but also cool and a vibe. Okay, so in South Florida, if you're looking for a warehouse, the only place that I feel like Cypress Drive is really the only place where a warehouse is actually in a cool, safe area.
Yes.
And I'm saying that respectfully to all the other areas. That was something super important to me.
Yeah.
And I obsessed. It's you just, if you can picture it and manifest it, you can make it happen. And that's just literally what I did. I wanted to be on the street. Warehouse came available. Tom Hughes happened to be the agent. He's a dear friend. And I texted him, don't sell that. I want it. He showed it to me. And the owner held a note for me, which is literally makes me want to cry every single time. If he hadn't held a note, I never would have been able to buy it. And then I put under contract and went to the Arctic Circle with Richard Branson, who is a dear friend and mentor. And we did this Strive Challenge thing. And I was without cell service for a week. You would think that I would have this no, it was amazing. It was very stressful.
Yeah.
And I was with 30 entrepreneurs who were all in the same boat. And we were just a bunch of, I think it's really hard when you have so much responsibility. And in my case, I have so many lockbox codes.
Yeah.
And passwords.
And you're the tech queen. If people don't know this, you were the tech figure outer of everything. I feel
very techy.
You're very good at that.
Much to everyone's chagrin, I'm annoyingly techy. Yeah. Anyway, that's that. And I went to work and I just did everything that I said I was going to do.
So the vision was for a marketing agency when you found this space.
Okay, so this is the thing that thank you for this question, because I don't know that I've actually clarified this publicly. The vision was for a portfolio of companies that I launched systematically based on like in the order that they needed to happen. So when I launched Hype Boss, that had been in the works for a year. Over a year. Hype Boss is a branding, marketing, PR, and creative firm all in one. And basically what it does is if you need something brought to market, if you need a nudge in your branding, if you need to define what your business is, if you need help with any of those things, your public exposure, Hype Boss can do that. And so it's not a creative agency, it's not a PR firm, it's not one thing, it's all those things. And I was pretty passionate about that being what that's where I spend now the majority of my time, consulting, working directly with our clients. Like I live for it, I love it. But I launched that one first because it made the most sense for the subsequent businesses. Everything else is now vertically integrated, which is really important to me. And the smartest brands now in 2026 are all doing that. Like all the smartest brands, if you've been paying attention, that's how like having a media platform and an entertainment and a storytelling and a branding platform under like Coca-Cola is happening. Mm-hmm. Gap just hired a chief storytelling officer or something like that for Gap.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's so interesting. And I created
almost like kind of backtracking because Gap has been around for so long, but now they're maybe, well, let's tell you the background behind creating this particular, style or whatever, right? Like that type of thing.
Storytelling around the thing. So like with your podcast, like there's so much storytelling obviously that happens in the podcast, but about your podcast and like about like as a brand, the brand of Kimberly Hand, you storytelling around your journey as a podcast host is what will make people want to listen to your podcast, right? It's storytelling is such a unique mechanism that
I should be taking notes.
Listen,
what you're saying.
So many ideas for you. Anyway, and that's really what Hype Boss does is like the storytelling stuff.
Well, I want to touch on podcast brilliance because now you said, okay, so I'm going to have a marketing agency, but the storytelling piece, I mean, podcasting is such the medium of today for people to tell their stories. So you were like, let's just do a podcast studio.
Okay, so the podcast studio was actually the one thing in this plan that really didn't actually change that much. Like I have so many videos of me standing where we're sitting right now, talking about how this was going to be the podcast studio and that the content creation space was going to be out there and how like that part of my plan, everything else changed, but that part of my plan was consistent. And one of the reasons why I needed a building that was flexible was because I also thought we were gonna have more studios. Right now we just have the one studio and I think it works. And we're really selective over who we bring in. One of the things I've noticed is like, with the creators that we work with, the whole reason why I blew up my career and why I have the team how I do is because I just don't want to work with people that I don't want to work with. And I don't want my team to work with people that and that's such a fun place to be. I mean, you as a podcast host, like
you're selective.
Yeah. You as a podcast host, like you're not going to have guests on that you don't want to talk to, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like, why would you?
I feel pretty strong about that.
Yeah. Same. So the podcast studio has been like the most epic journey. And we're in a place now where my thought process around this was like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to have the best podcast studio in the country. Like I have no chill. Like I just have absolutely no chill. When I built my real estate business, like there was no doubt in my mind that it would be at least one of the most recognizable brands in Jupiter. And now it's like in the country. Like I'll walk through a real estate event, people will be like, oh, the Lemon Lady. Like it's remarkable. And I couldn't recreate it if I tried, but I just have no chill. So with the podcast studio, like we've just been tweaking it. I mean, you've experienced it firsthand. Like I have been tweaking it and tweaking it and tweaking it. And I feel like now we're in a place where it finally is what I am deeply proud of. I'm really proud of the studio.
Yeah, it's an amazing studio. I'm lucky to be here and to be recording here and the great team and female focused. There's so many elements of it that I love. And that's one of them too.
Well, we love you. This studio would not be what it is without you.
Oh.
Like we are just, I am so grateful for you jumping in. Like you had a top podcast and the fact that you agreed to move it here, just on just jumping off the cliff, right? I don't know if you guys, if your listeners know this, but you were our first podcaster here at Podcast
Yeah.
Studios.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know if people know that.
I know. Maybe I did talk about it a little bit, but I sometimes, it's funny, like being a podcaster, I feel like you are sharing a lot of your life, but I'm also like a very private person too. And I really think about the details that I put out there into the world. I'm thinking like, how do I want this to show up, or how do I want people to know this or digest this information about me, And so I kind of sit on things for a little while.
Well, I think also, I feel like it's also fair to say that you probably were like, I don't want to put my name behind this until they figure out how to, like, they figure their shit out. If I was you, that's what I would be like, I'm not going to share where this is, because if this doesn't work out, like, I don't want to be.
No, I know, right? Well, I'm also weird about my location too sometimes. Like, I don't know. Like you're saying with real estate too, you just have to be on guard about that. You have to be careful.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
For sure. So what do you think this is for you? Do you think you're a very confident person?
No, I don't. And it's crazy. Like when people accuse me of being like an alpha female, or like when people say like, oh, I wish I had your confidence. Like, I don't feel like I'm confident at all. I think I'm genuinely delusional about what I'm capable of.
But like, you're confident in that delusion of thinking like, but I can still do this, right?
Yeah.
Even with everything on your plate.
I think being as techie as I am, and like really being good with technology, has given me a tremendous leg up to like the limits of what I can figure out. Mm-hmm. Being techie is, oh my God, if you're a parent listening to this, empowering your kid to be able to type fast and move fast on a computer is like the most underrated life skill. I feel like I can do as much as I can because I'm genuinely very, very fast on a computer.
I would agree with that, because I see that as a major downfall for myself.
That's so interesting. Yeah, well, you're also out of that age bracket. You were through elementary school.
Yeah.
When like Microsoft Word became available.
It just became it was too late. Yeah. I was typing on a typewriter in my room, and I can remember that. Even my brother was like, I can remember you doing reports on that typewriter. It's just a different day and age.
No, it's interesting because Facebook came out I had it my freshman year of college, when it was still only available to college kids, and in 2005, Jesus. And you would have been graduated, so you didn't have social media in college.
No.
Like, it's funny, like my generation, or my age group, being born in 2005, is that group that had Facebook through the 4 years of college, and we had MySpace in high school. So our savviness around social media is early adopter-ish.
Yes, you absolutely are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I always think of that as like, well, I just need someone like there that can help me do this kind of stuff. It's my husband.
You're also very, very good at it. Like, I don't feel like we're like making this like a thing. Like, you're very good at that.
No, but I do see that as like a major downfall for myself. Like, that's my weakest link.
I think that as a mom of 4, limiting your kids' screen time is such a mistake. Mm-hmm. If you're doing it in the interest of not having them like doom scroll, 100% do that. But like, make your kids figure out how to navigate an iPad. Like, it is a life skill that I can't emphasize that enough.
Well, and I recently saw that one of your sons is recording a podcast. Is that right? And I think I saw that, and I was like, bravo, because I think that being able to talk on a mic, to be able to share your thoughts, to be able to be authentic, to share yourself is a superpower as well. So for you doing that for your kids and saying, you know what, you have thoughts, you're creative, you want to get this out there, like, I think that's amazing.
There's a lot of soft skill development in hosting a podcast, for sure. There's like the creative dynamic, but then also soft skills in terms of organizing your guests, like setting expectations with them. I'm kind of doing there in a sneaky way with him. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of blown up a little bit. That was just a fun little project that
I love it. I'm obsessed with it because I wanted to have my son on, and maybe I'll have him around his birthday. He'll be 10. Mm-hmm. And I mean, we'll see if he wants to, but he did express an interest. And I was like, no, I think it's fantastic. Yeah. And he did a project at school where he had to wear a mic, and they recorded them. And I thought that just that in itself is huge.
Totally.
Because you could see the children that were nervous. They were more nervous. And I felt like my son was pretty comfortable up there. And I think that's a great skill to have.
Up until I was in my 20s and I had to start delivering like in the corporate world, I did not like public speaking, like raising my hand. It's funny, like I would come up with 100 ways to distract the class, but like raising my hand to actually answer something didn't come naturally to me at all. And I share that a lot because people see me, speak on these stages and, seems like it comes naturally, but it does not, or it did not. That comes with practice. And I think if you're not setting your kids up with the way that the world is, which is if you're an executive, if you are an executive of a Fortune 500 company or a small business, if you're the owner, you've got to be able to be a little bit performative. The brand depends on the leader in 2026 and beyond. It just does. The personal brand of the leader matters so much. And so if you haven't figured out how to deliver a message to a group, how to publicly speak, how to write, certainly, but how to be a little bit performative, you're going to be left behind.
I know. It's so weird, because I don't consider myself a public speaker because I'm sitting here in a room with,
You're such a public
typically
speaker.
just like a couple people. But you know what's funny is I've been at 2 different birthday parties. One was a friend, one was my husband. And I was like, I can't give a speech in front of peers to save my life.
Yeah.
And I get really nervous and I all of a sudden just black out.
That's so relatable. That is so relatable.
I want to work on that. I want to get better at that. But, just being able to do this, I listened to the very first episode and now I listen to the episodes now and I'm like, oh my gosh, the comfort level and the confidence has grown,
I
and so
think
that's
that
important.
when we first started working with you, I went back and listened to your first couple episodes. Your evolution and how you speak and how you conduct your interviews is remarkable. And I think it's the biggest takeaway for me there is if you're media training or trying to be a better speaker, then listen to yourself back and practice. It doesn't come naturally. I really don't think it comes naturally to anyone.
No, you have to listen back. And I'll tell you, in the beginning, I did not want to listen to myself. Yeah. It was cringy. It was oh God, what did I just say? And why? Why did I say it like that? And I mean, I'll still listen and be like, oh, I'm saying important all the time, or I'm saying, certain words, or I'll finish a question with right. And I'm like, why am I doing that? I'm trying to break these
But you clocked it, you clocked your habits. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so bummed. I deleted, I deleted so many of our old videos, which is important. I think purging old media when you're as a business is really important. So your portfolio isn't representative of older things. And I'm bummed that I did because it is part of our story. And if I go back and look at the ones that I kept, it is epically cringy how, what you said about ending a sentence in right?
Right? Yeah. A question.
Yeah.
I'm what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, because I want to know, because you do show up, you're very consistent on social media. You're very authentic. You share the good, bad, the ugly. You're opinionated. So I want to know about your social media presence and is that I'm just going to put Holly out there and let the chips fall where they may? Is there any kind of strategy behind it? What are your tips for people that are trying to curate, have an online presence?
Okay, so do as I say, not as I do with this, because my own social media is I intentionally remove followers. I am not trying to grow that account. And I say that so genuinely. I love my business's accounts and I love growing those accounts and I love building brands also for other people. It gives me so much joy. To your point about me being a cheerleader, it is in my bones. Being a hype boss is in my bones. But with my own stuff, it is just Willard Nillard. I'll remove followers when I'm trying to figure out if the algorithm will, I'll remove people within a certain industry if I'm trying to target a different industry. I mess around with that account so much. And it's funny. So I got verified randomly in 2020, before I was in a bunch of news things and I got verified and it created this surge of followers that were just not in our area, and at the time I was trying to build my real estate business, right? And so I learned that if you remove followers who are not actively engaging with your stuff, it's one of the most powerful things that you can do. The reason I'm saying that is to your question, that's the biggest advice that I have for people, not removing followers, but not focusing on your follower count whatsoever. Do not try to grow to get followers. Put stuff out on the interwebs that you're proud of and that will build your legacy. Overthinking social media for your own personal brand is one of the biggest mistakes I think that you can make. Now, if you have a brand and you're in the business of selling insurance, for example, or you're in the business of having a podcast, having your core message right and tight, having your mission right and tight is the most important thing for you to do. Having a point and a goal and having it outlined 10 for 10. But if you're trying to grow your personal following, it's just not overthinking it. If you own the insurance agency, focus on building that business's account, and then you sharing parts of your life will naturally just feed that account. We get so much real estate business just from me speaking about the things that like it's unintentional. Like it really, really is. And that's also why it works. Like the authenticity. I mean, you obviously know me in real life, right?
Yeah.
What you see online is what you get in person. Is that fair?
Yes.
And it's 100% because I'm not overthinking it. Like I'm not like asking for ChatGPT for scripts or like I just.
Or like what's trending or you're not really following that. You're just being yourself.
Yeah.
That's just really hard for a lot of people to do though, I think.
So here's the thing.
Maybe they obsess about it.
So here's the thing. If it's hard for you to do, then maybe you should focus your energy on something else. So if it's not in your natural fiber to give a hot take, like if you were given like a hot mic and you were asked like, hey, tell me about yourself, tell me about your industry. Someone like me goes, bet. Like, is this thing on? Like I got
Let me tell you about it.
Yeah, let me tell you about it. Yeah, I can do that cold. And so that's why it comes naturally to me, right? But if it doesn't come naturally to you, then your content isn't going to feel authentic for your audience anyway. And the thing is, for your business, you will very likely alienate people who are your actual people, using the finance bros as an example, right? So like if your ideal client avatar is like a family office or, an ultra high net worth, someone that represents ultra high net worth individuals and they're vetting people, very famously, Lawrence Mowens, who's the number one broker in the freaking world on Palm Beach Island, is not on social media. A, because he could give two shits about being on social media, but B, because that would be a turnoff for his clients. So if it doesn't come naturally to you, it could potentially be a liability. You doing a direct-to-camera video could be a liability for your brand, actually.
Interesting take, because I think people think that they have to be on social media, and maybe they don't, right?
They don't.
They do, but they maybe don't have to do, because maybe they're comparing. So maybe I'm comparing myself to you, and I'm like, oh, Holly really shares, she can share all this. To me, that wouldn't come as naturally to me, actually. Like, I'd be like scared.
Well, so let me just clarify this, that if you own a business and you're looking to grow your business, you do need to be on social media, right? I think it's how you inject yourself into the content. And it's also, if your clients are not on, so I'm talking exclusively about like building a business and building a brand, right? If your clients aren't scrolling on social media, go to where the puck is, like go to where they are. If you're in a B2B type business, be on LinkedIn and write articles, like write expert articles on LinkedIn. I think, and my answer to this, by the way, has also changed significantly in the past, I would say probably in the past 6 months. The algorithm has shifted just so far away from prioritizing very highly produced content and has prioritized the type of content that I do. It's worked out for me and for creators like me. And where it's like direct to camera, kind of this like raw takes, a lot of podcasting, like where it's just raw conversations. People crave that. The biggest reason they crave it is because cable TV and the TV landscape has changed. So people are now using their phones as a way of consuming content, we call it, but it's really like TV shows. They get invested in the characters. Like we have this intern account that is like a whole TV show in itself, right?
Yeah.
Like all of my businesses have all the, like it's all just a TV show,
There's a cheerleader in there somewhere in the mix.
Yeah.
I feel like,
you were talking about, yeah. She's amazing. I love her. But yeah, and it's all real and authentic,
Yeah.
I feel like the social media, the pressure that so many people feel, that pressure cooker of like needing to feeling like you're not doing enough, release it. If your ideal client avatar walked by your car and they saw you recording a video on your phone, if that would embarrass you, then you should maybe think twice about making that a priority for your brain. Like release it. You don't have to do it if that would embarrass you. Now, my business and my real estate agents and most real estate agents, that wouldn't embarrass them.
Yeah.
Because you want to hire a real estate agent that is outgoing and a brand manager that is outgoing and that is able to do that and be a little bit fearless.
Yeah.
But if I'm hiring an accountant, like this happens all the time where a business like an accountant will reach out to us at Hypeboss because they want to do like a brand profile. And they'll be like, well, what about TikTok and what about Instagram? And, and it's like your clients are actually on Facebook, because what's happening is the moms groups are asking who they recommend for an accounting firm, and you're getting tagged, and then people go to your Facebook profile and it's dead. But meanwhile, you're focusing on TikTok. Like, no, your firm isn't getting tagged on TikTok. Like that's a referral-based business, right? Anyway,
so smart. Actually, the mom groups are the jam.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the place.
Yes.
Really,
yes.
I feel like I don't know. I mean, that's not my expertise, but I do think there's a lot of action.
Oh yeah. I built Meyer Lucas off of the moms groups intentionally, like having our lemon emoji be like knowing that that's where, so if you like unpack like how business is recommended, to each other, that's a major place. Also, Reddit is a big place. If you look at your industry, if you're a divorce attorney, putting yourself where, like a divorce attorney won't do as well in the moms groups. They will do well. The moms groups are good for everything, but they won't do as well because people are going to be less likely to recommend who they had a great experience with potentially. Anything that's like vulnerable like that.
Yeah. So interesting. Do you have mom guilt?
No.
Because you're doing a lot of things.
No, I don't. And you know what? God bless you for asking me that. If I could inject this into every mom that has, it's not mom guilt. It's the guilt of not having mom guilt. Like that's the thing that I feel like if you have guilt over not feeling mom guilt, let it go, lady. Let it go. Your kids, the relationship that I have with my kids, so I have 3 boys and a girl. My boys and I have the closest relationship. And if you polled any of them, and you can ask them, check me on this. If you ask them if I'm close with them, if I'm there for them, like I don't miss a single game of theirs. I miss almost every practice. Practices are not important, moms. Practices are not important. Don't go to practices. Sit it out. Let the coach do their thing. Let them develop soft skills. Let them be on their own. Like you working, so here's the thing. What fills my cup is creating and genuinely working. I have always been a workaholic. That is who my husband married. That's who I am in my bones. That's who I've been since I got my first job. I approached this butcher in Germany when I was like 8 years old and asked if I could have a job. I have been creating and having lemonade stands my whole life. Okay. And I'm saying that because if you're not cut from that cloth, then maybe don't take this advice. Like if you have mom guilt, so not the guilt of mom guilt, if you have mom guilt, then you should look at what you're doing and readjust. Any kind of guilt is not what you want to have on your deathbed. And every day that we go out into the world, we are potentially walking into our deathbed. And so if you have any kind of guilt, any kind of shame, any kind of anything, you should make that change today. Cage door isn't locked. Now, having said that, the financial implications of you quitting your job, don't do that. Like, don't set yourself up for, that is a whole thing. Like if you're financially dependent on your hustle and grind, like that's a whole other thing.
Yeah. I love that though, the cage door isn't locked.
It's not.
Yeah.
Do what you're in love with.
Yeah.
Romanticize your life. Yeah. Like romanticize your life. I spent so long being told by family members, friends, just being so criticized for who I actually am. I named this one of my companies Hype Boss almost as an inside joke with myself that being a hype boss is just who I am. I'm a lot of things. I'm a little bit chaotic. I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader. I once had a friend, I was hyping up this girl at a party and I was like, no, she's amazing. You need to hire her company. She was a baker. Like she baked cookies. And this friend was like, oh my God, Holly, we get it. Like you're always selling. And it really like cut me deep. And it took me a while to like really realize like, yes, I am always selling. Mm-hmm. Selling meaning like I hype people up. That's just who I am.
That's who you are.
And
that's a superpower of yours.
It is a superpower. Yeah. It is. And I'll tell you what, when I launched this company, there were so many people that came out of the woodwork. I would argue you're a hype boss. You're a hype boss in your core. There's so many people that came out and they were like, I'm an Enneagram 7. That's me. And me being a lot of things. So with that also comes a lot of interests, a lot of obsessions, a lot of hyperfocus. And if you're a mom on top of that, you can be an excellent mom and also obsess over your work. Like those things do not have to be mutually exclusive.
I love that. I love that. Holly Meyer Lucas, what a conversation we just had.
I feel like that wasn't a conversation at all. I feel like I just like dumped on you. Sorry. You like gave me a hot mic and it's funny. You asked me things that I haven't had the opportunity to share in a minute. So sorry. Thanks for letting me kind of
No, I'm glad. And what do you want to leave us with?
I hope you have a kind editor.
Amber.
What I want to leave you with is listen to The Cinnamon Effect.
Oh my, you don't see, you're hyping me.
Listen to me right now. Listen to me right now. If you love The Cinnamon Effect and you love Kimberly Hand and you've learned something from The Cinnamon Effect, which I know all of you have, she drops so much knowledge and her guests are so amazing. And by the way, when she puts this out onto the Spotify and onto Apple Podcasts, it's free. It's free for you. It's a free resource. Who's learned something from The Cinnamon Effect? I have. Give her a review. I want 10 reviews at the end of this from everybody. And review her on different platforms. You need reviews on Spotify. You need reviews on Apple Podcasts. And drop her a comment too.
Okay, so what's a hot podcasting tip right now?
Asking for reviews.
Okay, asking for
creating
which I actually don't do enough of.
You don't?
No, and I should. I've had well over 100 guests. I need to have a review from everybody.
You really do. It's honestly, and for how many people bring you up to me that are like, oh, I learned this on The Cinnamon Effect. In my head, I'm like,
write a review.
but I know you don't like asking for
That
them.
is true, though. The reviews do really help. So that's in my outro, guys.
The other thing, one of the most important things that you should do as a podcaster in 2026 is, and this is for podcasters and creators, we do this with Podcast Brilliance. Like, this is one of the biggest reasons why I started Podcast Brilliance, is giving podcasters and creators the ability to create an online community of their audience. So right now your listeners are on Apple Podcasts, they're on Spotify, and they don't know each other. Like, the amount of fans that you have in our community alone that don't know that they all listen to, like, how often is it where you hear someone that's like, do you listen to Joe Rogan, or do you listen to this Cinnamon Effect? People bring you up to me all the time. Anyway, so creating a container and a community for them to connect with your guests, to connect with you personally, to comment on things behind a wall, not necessarily a paywall, but a login wall, so that it doesn't end up on the internet. What we're seeing right now with social media, one of the biggest reasons why engagement is so low across social media right now is because the algorithms flew too close to the sun with publicizing your comments. Like, people are terrified to put a comment on something in a real way besides like, woo, love this. Like, that's what comments are these days. But no one is like, hey, that fertility thing, tell me more about that, or how can I connect? Like, no one wants to put that on the internet.
Yeah, you're so right.
But they can do that in a community. So for yours, connect.thecinamoneffect.com. Connect.thecinamoneffect.com. If you're a listener, you should join the community. There are different categories in there.
I love it. I'm so excited.
It's so fun. You can connect with me there too. I'll do a little Q&A.
Oh yeah, Holly will be on there. Yeah, for sure.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for being here. So much fun.
I could talk to you all day.
I know.
Toodaloo.
Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning into this episode of The Cinnamon Effect. If you enjoyed our time together, don't forget to hit that follow button on your podcast app and sprinkle a little love by leaving us a 5-star rating and a quick review. Your support means the world to me. For even more goodness, check out the show notes where you'll find links to some of my favorite products. And don't forget to visit thecinamoneffect.com to connect with me directly or to grab your TCE gratitude journal, your next step towards a more grateful life. I can't wait to spice things up with you again next time. Stay vibrant, stay inspired, and remember to add a little cinnamon to your life every day.